I just wanted to show you guys something real quick. Let me get rid of my ugly face here. Uh, there is an old, there is an old, this is Rogers. Let me get rid of that decibel. You see how the storm just goes around this. Now, Rogers sits on a plateau that extends from, in between right around Highfill. It goes to like Siloam is a little part of it. And, but there's a plateau up here, and kind of like an oval going south, west, northeast, up along this western edge of Beaver Lake here, and going out towards Oklahoma. And it's all kind of swampy. It used to be in parts, and a lot of cypress trees, and out around you see War Eagle down here at the lake is where a lot of the Indians in between Springdale and in between Fayetteville and Rogers out at along this edge of White River right there. A lot of Indians lived out there near War Eagle, and before the settlers came in and moved all the Indians out, really, uh, there was legends of all the shamans said that this plateau up here was sacred beyond over the White River to the west, and they went there to in the swampy places, and there wasn't a whole lot of trees around this area back then. It was kind of just brushy and stuff like that. And after the Spanish came in and brought the blueberry bushes, there were briars and stuff all over the place. That stuff spread real quick. But prior to the Spanish coming here, there were cypress, the big old cypress trees. It's like down in Louisiana. They left these mounds everywhere in the places that haven't been touched up around here. And there's one spot called the Searless Prairie right up about half a mile away from me, north of me on the highway, Hudson. And there you can still see the cypress mounds, which look like it resemble like mound dwellers' burial sites or Indian burials and stuff like that. And there might have been some burial grounds around here. Now, I've never noticed any paranormal activity except for up around the border where the highway goes up, the gateway up there to Seligman. I've encountered some Native American spirits and stuff, but never around here except for down around Montanay down there, but the bend at Horseshoe Bend in the lake right there. Montanay and my story with Zorstar. But anyway, you see how that storm just bends around that plateau right there. And so I sit up on pretty much like real on the top of it, right before it drops off down in the Little Flock north of me, and it gets all hilly and mountainy up into Bella Vista where the locks are, those lakes up there to the northwest of Rogers. There is the retirement community, Bella Vista. And so, I mean, there's paranormal activity around here. There's some haunted houses and stuff like that. But, you're not really going to run into any Indians clopping down the road on a horse spirit or black-eyed children or anything like that. If you're out walking around the streets of Rogers or Bentonville or anything, there are some strange things, but I've never encountered anything too supernatural. Now, my son sees things a lot, like when he works on the railroad and in an old supermarket, and he sees he's a seer. He doesn't like it, but I kind of planned him that way with his mother and stuff. But anyway, all things aside, there's an old Indian tale that says this plateau will never get hit by a tornado. Now, we've had tornadoes south of Rogers, and right north of me go through Little Rock. But um, where I sit up on top of this, right above Turtle Creek, up on this hilltop, basically, we never had any real severe weather. There was a low pressure fluke thing that happened the other year ago that was really scary. A lot of high winds and but other thing compared to that, my whole life, my sister was here visiting when I was little, and a tornado went over the top of us, was in the air, and it touched down at the the battlefield at Pea Ridge north of us, up that highway that goes northeast along the western part of the lake. It goes in Missouri. Then Highway 40 is at that one that goes through all the way up to Jane and goes down to Springdale, Fayetteville. Connects everything. But I get excited because I used to chase storms around here, and I'd have to go, west and up north to get the good stuff because it would always break, and it would always be disappointing to me in a way because we never got hit with anything, and I always wondered why. And my dad and a lot of people, a lot of Native Americans that I talked to said, yeah, they called it a curse. They called it a curse. But it's not a curse. It's a blessing because we don't get tornadoes here. And I just wanted to show you guys this little example proof on the radar of supernatural events. Nature bending to itself, I guess, because of the plateau. The Indians figured that the storms, they would probably come up here during severe weather from War Eagle when they knew it was coming, and kind of hide out in the swamps and cypress forest up here. But anyway, this I consider this place, especially my lot where I got a statue of what I call Gandalf, which actually is Odin. But if you look at it at Google Earth, my lot, we set that up to be a focal portal. If you're wondering about that, yeah, I did do that. Now my mom had a lot to do with planning it, but I moved stuff around and said, we need a circle in the middle and all this shit. And she went along with it, but she didn't really know what I was doing. But I fixed that parcel of land to be a ward, a protection, and kind of implement this right here like a giant cloud busting thing. So you can see how it's centered right on my house. It just it goes right around it, and it's done that forever. It usually always does that. If there's a line of storms, it'll break right around my house. Pretty much it starts breaking right at the highway, but you can see there it starts breaking at Siloam, kind of where the elliptical of the plateau is. Now if you want to get the exact measurements of the plateau up here, you'll have to go to a topological map, and those are available pretty much for free now on Google Play Store, topological maps, topographical maps, topo maps. You just put in topo, T-O-P-O maps, and you can pull topographical maps up of anywhere. When I was metal detecting years ago, when I was young, I had topo maps everywhere because we were looking for gold around here. And come to find out, this guy had mined some gold where the Rogers High School was at one point in time, and sent several train loads full up to I believe Springfield on the rails to be what do you call it? Anyway, they had to get the gold out of the rocks, and it didn't really pay off, so they quit mining it. But yeah, there's gold up in here, just not like nuggets and stuff. You know, there's a lot of minerals and there's a lot of stuff up here. There's a uranium mine or a plutonium mine up around Gateway, Seligman and stuff that you could go find. Uh, but anyway, I kept you guys for 10 minutes showing you this radar loop. I just wanted to point out that even though I have, I get excited when storms come through, but I really shouldn't, because this is one of the only things I have faith. Frigga talks about people worshiping things, and I don't worship anything but what comes out of my garden, and what I put into it. I put energy into that stuff because it gives me sustenance. It feeds me and my little critters around here and stuff. I don't I don't believe that there's some man that died that's going to save me or anybody else or that Odin has any more power than any other archetype of our minds that the collective species has manifested through their mind, through the archetypes, of but we bring those entities into existence, um, just as the raising and lowering of land puts ideas into your head, into the society's head, because that plateau is the reason why the storms break. But according to the Indians, it was sacred that was happening. You see what I'm saying? Um, we give a tribute, just like I was talking about earlier. The Messianic Jews they got their new Messiah tomorrow. They're naming, uh, and he's probably going to start calling shots for them people. And we give a tribute to all these people, and everybody thought Trump was the second coming or the Antichrist or whatever. That was bullshit. We this matrix we live in, uh, however you want to define it technologically, it's some sort of sixth or seventh dimensional uh, reality matrix simulation, uh, if you want to call it that. It's real. Everything's real. It's not like the movie Matrix where there's ones and zeros that make up everything. Uh, Things are made up. You can measure them and then use math to define things, but they're not made up of those numbers. They're not made up of ones and zeros. It's not our world's not digital, is what I'm saying. It is a hologram. It's holographic. Okay, it's photonic. We live in a photonic universe of we live in an illuminated um, part of the universe. I'm not going to try and sit here and explain everything, but I just want to give you guys a little glimpse into my world, and how I see things. But right there in front of your eyes, you probably watched it go by 500,000 times now. Storms breaking around the sacred plateau I live on up here in northwest Arkansas. And if you notice, the White River there kind of resembles I always thought it resembled a dragon, like the Chinese type of dragon. But anyway, there's several images. There's several ways you could look. Several dragons in there too, you know. But I just had to show everybody this and calm down a little bit. And I'm done with my anxiety attack, and hopefully I can get some good sleep tonight and get a good live stream out tomorrow for you guys and go over some of the information, some critical information that I think you guys need to be aware of. I've been holding it back for quite some time to get a little bit better uh, to take on things, because every day there's more new stuff to add to what people have already found. Niven's doing a good job, and of course that's not his real name, but Niven's doing a good job. Awanu's doing a great job. Burger Boy's doing what he can, to for all these people. We're bringing awareness. Monograph's doing what he thinks is necessary, and you know, we're all holding back a little bit. We're all holding back a little bit. You know what I mean? Some of us are holding back a lot. Like I'm holding a lot back, guys. But after the holidays, like I said, it's going to go in when this World War III situation kicks off. A lot of us are going to switch gears. We might not be on YouTube, per se, and because of some of these other platforms like Rumble and stuff like that are getting better and combining forces with other companies, and they're going to be overtaking YouTube. And I think what I found with the hijack channels, that could bleed over and affect everybody if we don't stop it. And YouTube probably could be powerless to do anything about it if I'm correct with my assumptions of what it is and what's been released. So, because the vulnerabilities it's exploiting right now, the hijack channels, it's going to advance those exploitation mechanisms, and nobody will be safe on YouTube, I think. And eventually it'll just be that one AI, the whole YouTube. Yeah, I had a vision of it, and so if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put this whole thing together for you guys. I'm just saying, give me time. A lot of you guys are being real patient with me. A lot of you new people from all these other channels, I really appreciate it. But donations, I would really appreciate some cash so I could pay my credit card bills, or they're going to default. And I'm going to be real in deep shit, in deep trouble. So please throw me what you can, and I'll tell you guys when I got enough to pay the bill and not fucking suck a bunch of money from everybody. You know what I mean? I'm honest, but like right now, I really need it. I really do. So you guys have a good night, and I'll drop this under 20 minutes here. So peace out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll put something out, community posts or whatever, and you always can go to Deep State Watchdogs for the strangers back posting. So even if I'm not posting, he's got the news for you. So you guys have a good night. Stay safe, everybody.